Hey guys, I'm Bella, the maker and boss lady behind Fiber and Fox, and this is episode 36 of my podcast. Welcome. If you're new, thank you for joining, and if you've been here for the whole ride, thank you for being you and for being here with me. I appreciate you. This will probably be a little bit of a shorter episode, but everything that you need to know about me, you can find linked down below in the little show more, down bar, doodad, you know. You've probably figured it out by now. All that's down there, blog, Instagram, and the like, and there is also going to be show notes for this episode as well as far as anything I reference, patterns, yarns, whatnot, over on the blog if you need more information. So that's about all I have to tell you there. This is episode 36, and admin-wise, the only thing I really have to share is that I sent off the prize for the Knit New Haven cowl, the one that was that crazy, the 4 skeins of crazy yarn that made the cowl. That has gone out to a winner. I sent it out today, but nobody claimed the one for Marji's. I drew a winner in the last episode 35, but I did not hear back from that person. So I will be drawing one more winner for this one later on in the episode. So if you did enter, pay attention this time because somebody's got to take it home. But that's about all I have for admin. So let's get into my slightly shorter, I think, a little bit less content, but still some. I'm a little bit sniffly because I picked up the cat before this episode, but I think we'll get through. Let's get into the designs. I'm sure you're waiting for me to be like, oh, I don't have any designs this week because my cardigan still has no sleeves because that's what I've been saying for months. But guess what? I finished it. Oh my goodness. Guys, I finished it. Name is still pending. I'm not 100% sold on what I'm calling it, so I'm not going to announce that yet, but keep an eye out on Instagram. I'll be announcing it soon, and hopefully maybe possibly sort of soon doing a tester call. I finished the cardigan in my size and have like roughish notes. Tomorrow I'm going to start writing up the actual pattern in my size, and then I have to grade it up to 4X. Extra small to 4X. So that takes me a bit. But this one, I'm so happy with it, guys. I've had this yarn for, I was trying to figure out, I think 4 years. Because I think my parents bought it for me when they went to London before I was pregnant and like way pre-COVID. So I think it was either when I was pregnant with my daughter, so 3 or 4 years. They went to London and got me this yarn. So let me tell you about the yarn, and then we'll talk about the cardigan. But the yarn that I'm using, the main color is Life in the Long Grass. I know she still dyes. I don't know for a fact that this color is still available because, like I said, I've been holding on to it for like 4 years. But they got this for me at Loop London, which is a popular yarn store in London. And I had like requested this yarn from them, and I talked to the owner ahead of time, and I was like, hey, my parents are coming. And she's like, oh yeah, I'll set these aside for you. And it was so sweet because I hadn't paid for them or anything. So she set aside 4 skeins of this Life in the Long Grass, who I believe is a dyer out of Ireland, if I'm not mistaken, in the colorway Gorse. Good enough, right? On her fine sock base, and it is a 75/25 superwash merino nylon. And then the accent color is a skein that I've also been holding on for a little bit, but not nearly as long, probably a year or so. It's slightly different now. The color has changed a little bit, but a original lot of Fiber for the People in the colorway Leather, back when she first released the color. It has since gotten a little more maybe orangey toned and a little less. This one has a little more of a green tone to it. But those are the 2 colors, and yeah, I have been holding on to this Life in the Long Grass yarn for just a real long time because I was worried about not doing it justice, and I knew that I couldn't really get more of it, at least not in the same dye lot and not easily, because I would have to ship it. I don't know of anybody in the US that's stocking it, at least near me. I'm sure somebody somewhere has it, but it is either going to have to ship from Ireland or, London. And I didn't want to have to do that and match dye lots and yada yada, so I was holding on to those 4 skeins until I really had a plan, and it was before, I think maybe I had released a stick gander vest at that point, but before I got into the garment design, and it was like my goal to create this into a cardigan and have it be graded in all the sizes and whatnot. This is going to be a bit rambly, but this is a story. I've always been able to create garments and whatnot. That hasn't really been a super challenge for me, but being able to create them in a way that I can then replicate them on paper in words that are understandable to you guys, and then grade them in different sizes, that really just blew my mind for a long time. It still kind of does, because I'm not mathy. If you've been around here, I'm not mathy at all. But yeah, this was like my goal project, to make a cardigan not only for myself, but then as a pattern. And I've since released other garment patterns and whatnot, but I had to just work myself up to this one, guys. I'm so happy. I based the shape off of a cardigan, just a store-bought regular cardigan that I own, some measurements from there, and then just really got really creative with the construction, I think, at least from what I've seen in other crochet cardigans. I definitely kind of had to wing a lot of it because I didn't know how to do it. But okay, so this is the cardigan, which has not yet been named. I'm going to try to get some either video footage or pictures of me wearing it in before I put up this podcast so I can show it a little better. I would put it on for you, but it's a bazillion degrees. And we haven't been home for a couple hours, so the AC's been off in here. So I'm not putting on a wool sweater right now, but it is, I love it so much. So this is the Life in the Long Grass color, and then this is the Fiber for the People color. I think they complement each other super, super well. The beautiful buttons I got at, I think these were from Marji's Yarncrafts when I was doing the shop hop. They're really shiny and beautiful. I think they're shell of some kind. And it just all came together. I'm so happy with it. I'm so happy. Like, anytime I'm able to take something out of my head and create it, it's always kind of a wow moment, just like the fact that I can take string and make it into stuff. But garments in particular, there's just something so magical about, like, I mean, I guess everything I make is three-dimensional. But I don't know. Something about the engineering of a sweater just really wows me. And I'm just so grateful that I have that skill. And then I get to share it with you guys. So I'm going to be working on writing up the pattern. It's probably going to be tester call end of September. It's like the endish of August now. I would like to have the pattern ready for testing by the end of September. And then the pattern release is probably going to be like December or something. Hopefully by the end of the year. But it's going to need like probably at least 8 weeks for testing because it is fingering weight and it is a large garment. But yeah, it's a fairly fitted cardigan, only a couple inches of positive ease. It's got this beautiful stitch pattern, and it's worked in such a way that you're working kind of side to side, and then seaming some panels. And the way I did the V-neck, I don't know if you guys remember, I'll try to link it in the thingy, but the V-neck construction really kind of baffled me for a minute. For quite some time, and I figured it out. I don't know if you remember, but it was like stair-steppy. But look, it's so nice and smooth now, and you can't even tell that it was like jagged, so jagged. So I don't know what that construction method was called because I'd never seen it anywhere, but I'm so pleased with how it worked out. I always love an applied ribbing. I think it looks so beautiful. And I figured out how to do like, I had done buttons before, but I've never written a pattern with buttons. So like the button placement and stuff, I think they're all even, and I figured it out, and I think I figured it out in such a way that I can then tell you guys, because that's always the tricky bit about a pattern is, like, yeah, I can wing it in my head, and if I'm making something for just me, I will totally fudge it and not count and not measure and just be like, we'll just add a few, decrease a few, whatever, it works. But for a pattern, obviously, it has to be pretty precise. But I think I've got it. I think. This is before I've sat down and done the grading. And JoJo will be like, oh, this pattern's going pretty good. You're not whining about it a lot, because I get to this point where I'm just like so frustrated and I just grump for several days. But we work through it. That's part of the design process. But I think I love the sample in my size, so I just need to figure out how to apply that to all the other sizes and get that out to you guys written up. So very excited. Keep an eye out on Instagram. Instagram is a pain in the booty now, guys. We're only going to show reels and only prioritize certain content, even though you've agreed to follow me, you're not seeing my stuff. So make sure you're following me on Instagram. That's where I'm going to do tester calls. That's where I have always done tester calls. At some point that might change because Instagram is a pain in the rumpus. But that's where I plan on doing tester calls as of right now. So I usually do a tester call there, like a Google form application, and then pick, and I usually need at least 2 testers in each size from extra small to 4X. So large groups of testers, it usually ends up being about 18 or so people. So yeah, if you're interested in that cardigan design, keep an eye out on Instagram, and I'm hoping to, get that out to you soon. I may start doing tester calls via my mailing list as well. So that both Instagram and the mailing list are linked down below. So if you want to make sure you're gonna see the tester call, jump on both those two and follow carefully. And maybe I think Instagram, there's a way to turn on notifications, which I don't usually do for people because I don't want to see absolutely everything people post. But if you want to know when I do tester calls, it might be a good idea. But anyhow, cardigan design, I'm so happy with it. I can't wait to wear it. It's not cold enough to wear yet. But I'm just thrilled. I think it came out so good, and I love the fit. And this color is just of my dreams, and I'm so glad that I saved it until I was able to make something of my own, pattern with it, because there's plenty of stuff I could have made, knit, crochet, other people's patterns, but I really wanted this yarn to be something that I designed something with, and I love it. I'm really happy. So I'm going to be announcing the name and doing a tester call soon. Stay tuned! Finished object-wise, the cardigan is technically a finished object. I need to sew in the ends and reblock one button band. Other than that, it's finished. But I can't remember if I showed last time. I think these were both finished or very close to finished. These are just some Patton's Croix socks, self-striping. The main color, I believe, I forgot to grab the tag, but I think it's Blue Striped Rag was the name. Patton's Croix, commercially available. And then this is a skein. I think I'll be able to, do I have the ball band? I'm not positive. It's West Yorkshire Spinners, nope, don't have the tag. 4-ply in the color, I looked it up online, and it's part of their spice collection, and it's supposed to be cardamom, which is a spice. But my tag says cardamom, not spelled like cardamom. And I double checked that maybe I was not spelling that word wrong. And no, my tag says cardoman. Card-o-man. And cardamom has an A and a mum on the end. Not a man. So I think it's the same color. Maybe somebody misprinted the tag. I have no idea, but I got it when I was at Hand Knits in Brattleboro for the I-91 sock hop. If you haven't seen those videos already, they're up in the vlog channel playlist. But yep, these are for me. Basic sock. Super happy with them. Super cute. I think I did 60 stitches on a US size 2, maybe. I may have gone down to 56. I frankly don't remember, but they're finished. And if I showed them to you last time, la-di-da, you can look at them again. Because now I made tiny pair. They're not exactly the same because I did my daughter's in a ribbed leg, just because I feel like they stay on a little bit better on little busy little feet. But I did 50 stitches for the leg. It looks so skinny, and this is I blocked it around her salt and pepper shaker because I don't have a sock blocker in this size because it's so tiny, and I don't want to buy one because her foot's gonna grow. But I put it over our salt and pepper shaker just to block it out a little bit. It looks so tiny, but I believe this was 50 stitches, and then I decreased down to 46 in the foot, which looks drastically larger, but because of the ribbing. So this is 2x2 ribbing, and then just heel flap and gusset, and same through the foot. So these are really cute. I need to get pictures of us wearing them together. Again, it's too hot to wear wool socks, but I think those are just darling. She grows out of socks really quick, and I was tempted to do just a tube sock with no heel, but those don't ever really fit right either. And these don't take long. It's just probably a week and a half, maybe. I was mostly working on the cardigan, so this and the cardigan is all I worked on in the last week. Other whips have languished, but that is fine because I got the cardigan done finally. But yeah, these are adorable. I was gonna hold out and give them to her for her birthday, but that's in November, and she could definitely wear these in, October, maybe even September, and get some wear out of them. So probably I don't need to hang on to socks to gift her socks. She could just have socks. So they're very sweet and tiny and cute, and she actually really likes knitted socks and all things handmade. So I'm going to just enjoy that phase for as long as it lasts. Hopefully it lasts a long time, but yeah. They're so cute. Look how tiny they are. So those are my finished object socks, and I'm not even going to make this its own whip section because it is scarcely a whip. But the only other thing that I've been working on is in the car, on a car ride today, I cast on a cuff of a sock. It is a sock pattern that I purchased, but it's literally just a 1x1 cuff right now. So that's exciting. But this is the full skein of the CARDIGAN yarn, which is the West Yorkshire Spinner's signature 4-ply. And then the top, little eensy-weensy little top, I think I just cast on and then did 2 rows in the sock yarn that I did my first ever pair of socks out of, which was Knits for Comfort. She's a local dyer, and the colorway was something like Fireside Cider Spice, something. So have a tiny bit of this left from when I made other socks. I've worked it into a couple actually, but I'm probably going to just do this and then the toes. Oh, I might have enough to do heels as well actually. I don't know if I want that. But yeah, I'm going to do the zigzaggy. They were zigzag, but then she changed the name because there were so many on Ravelry. Zigzaggy socks by Potter and Bloom. She just released them, and it's a really pretty, what it sounds like, a zigzag pair of socks with a really pretty, zigzag built into the pattern, and it looks really nice on a solid yarn. It would look chaotic in something like this, but in this nice green. It was really pretty, and it pops. I think hers are pink, but I'm going to do mine in the green. I don't really know, on what occasion I will need to own solid, light fern green socks, but when will I need to own socks that look like this? When will I need to own any of these hand-knit socks? So they're going to just be cozy and wintry. And I really do like the West Yorkshire, I can't say it. Why is it so hard? West Yorkshire Spinner's signature 4-ply CARDIGAN. I really like that yarn. It's not a super wash, and I like the feel of it a lot. So that is my whip, if you can call it that. Hopefully I have a little bit more to show you next time and you can see the zigzag pattern coming together, but very excited about those because that's what I bought that green yarn for, and she just released the pattern, and yeah, gotta have a sock whip. Whew, we are light on the content today, guys. This is gonna be under a half hour. Yeah, that's all I have for things that I'm working on. It's gonna mostly be the cardigan math for probably even up until the next episode. Maybe cardigan math and a sock whip. I still have the Mount Pleasant top. Haven't finished that. But I think that's the only other active whip I have. I need to do the shoulder shaping on the Mount Pleasant. And I want to get that done now because it'll kind of match with the yellow cardigan. I can wear them together in the fall. So we'll get that done. But I have a couple of acquirings, and then that's it. That's all I got, guys. So as part of the I-91 shop hop, I know I went ahead of the trail, but I was able to make actually one of the events that happened at U&U. Both Saturdays of the shop hop, she did a pop-up with local dyers because, God bless her, Rachel loves to support local dyers, and it's one of my favorite things about her. But I had gotten local yarn store day, something in the spring. No, it wasn't local yarn store. Yeah, it was local yarn store day, LYS day. I have a vlog for that too. So I got a vlog for everything now. But I got, it's so glary, but a rainbow mini sock set. Moody rainbow sets on her 4-ply yarn, and the colors are Mommy's Time Out, You're the Reason, Autumnal Equinox, Olive Branch, Cold Hearted, Take Me Home, and Lucid Dreams. I was reading them off the back there, guys. And it's on her 4-ply 75-25 base, 20 gram mini skeins. I don't know if she still has them in her shop. She had some a couple weeks ago. If this cowl pattern comes out. This is not a collaboration. I bought all these. I just love Jen. We have collaborated on stuff before, but I know she's very busy, but if this cowl comes out how I'm planning on it coming out, I might petition her to make kits. We'll see. But would work with any, I don't think I'm going to use the, I don't know. That was my stomach. Did you hear it? I probably am going to use all of them. I was going to say, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the purple and the pink, because this is just a little too pink for me. But I think in the scheme of the cowl, it's going to work. So I went to the, all this to say, pop-up that she was doing 2 weekends or so ago. And I just barely made it to the end of it because we had another family thing that we were doing that day. And I just jumped in at the very last minute. But I was able to get a skein of a color she hasn't dyed in a while, I guess, called the Mist. And it's on her twist sock base. I don't know if you can see, but it's a gray with basically all those colors. There's definitely green, definitely purple, some yellow, orange, red, all of that up in there. So I'm going to be doing, I've had this cowl pattern mulling around in my mind since I bought these in the spring. but I needed a solid color, and I would rather get it in person than pay shipping for somebody who's local to me. So this is going to be a cowl. As soon as I get the majority of that pattern written up, probably once it's, let's figure out what's going to happen before it's into testing. But once that cowl or the sweater cardigan is almost ready to go, I'm going to get this started. This is going to be a pretty quick design because it's pretty much all done in my head, and it's just a cowl, so there's not any like crazy grading or anything that needs to happen. But very excited. I'm trying not to crinkle so much, but very excited about this possibility. I'm thinking something, I'm not going to tell you, it's going to be kind of, I guess you could call it color work, but it's not really color work. It's kind of just magic, just crochet magic. Cowl coming up October maybe. I was waiting for it to get cold enough because I really wanted to just do this in like June, but I've been holding on to it. So I now have the main color, and that'll be coming soon. And then let me put this down. It's very crunchy. And then I had I don't know if I've talked about Patton's Croy sock yarn a lot. I think it's a great yarn if you're just starting out making socks, or if hand-dyed isn't in your budget, or like fancy self-striping yarn, because those can run like $30 a skein, and I get that that's not accessible to everybody. I don't want to be buying $30 for every pair of socks that I make, and I do love supporting indie dyers, but I also love being able to make on, you know, a lighter budget. So there's a balance. There's yarn for everything and every purpose and all of that. And very often I work either full socks in Patton's Croy, or I get a color and I do like heels, toes, and cuffs. So a color that I use a ton is the black one. I think is called coal. The black one I use a ton, and the gray one called flax I use a ton. But I've also used a couple of the striping skeins, and anytime that there's a like clearance sale at Joann or Michael's. My husband just dropped something or hit something. Or it was a cat. Don't know. But I was talking about how much I loved Croy. Last episode, it's really hard wearing. It's a little heavier, maybe more towards a sport weight than a traditional fingering weight, so I usually size up in the needles and down in the stitch count and yada yada. But anyway, a viewer, and not even just a viewer, someone she's tested for me before, Emily Louise of eLouise Crochet, I believe is her handle, was watching, and Emily has, like I said, tested and followed me on Instagram, and anytime I like recognize a name that comes up in comments and stuff, that's always so special, because I'm like, oh yeah, I know who you are. Oh, we've interacted. Oh, we've had some sort of online yarny relationship, and I just love that community aspect of being able to do this. And she messaged me and she was like, hey, I have a bunch of Croy, and it's kind of, I think she described it as too sporty, like it's a little bit too heavy for her preference. She's like, I have a bunch of Croy, and I was looking to like give it away to somebody, because you know, you don't just want to donate it to someone who's not going to appreciate it or whatever. She wanted it to go to a good home, and she's like, hey, can I send you some Croy in the mail? And I was like, absolutely, here's my P.O. box. It just blows me away when people ask that. It hasn't happened often, but that somebody would look at something that they own and be like, oh, Bella would like that. That's so crazy. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you. That's so sweet. So Emily was like, yeah, I would like to send you some of this Croy. I have a couple of skeins. I don't know if you want them. And I was like, absolutely. Like, I love them. I'll use them for me, for my daughter. I think it's a great sock yarn. So she sent me two of the color that I use the most. This gray one. I love it for heels, toes, and cuffs. It's the colorway Flax. And I will try to link some of these colors for you guys as well, because I know you can also get these Amazon and whatnot. But I believe, actually, I know I got them on clearance for like $3 a skein. I feel like they might be $6 or so a skein. They're 50-gram balls. And usually Joann, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, all of them have them and have different colorways, so you can kind of collect them all. But this is one that I use a ton, and really hard wearing, washable, fantastic. It's a little woolly, because I don't think it's superwash. Nope, it's 75% wool, 25% nylon, so it's a non-superwash, which I also really like. A little bit woolly, but my feet don't mind that one bit. So she sent me these two, and then also mid-century stripes, two of these. I've not seen this color before, I don't think, so I'm excited to see how that works out. Some of them are like very even stripes like this, and some of them are more kind of crazy stripes. I'm trying to think of what other ones I've used, because I use the solid ones so much. But I'm pretty sure I have at least one other pair and a stripey one. I have a couple over there that are hanging out that I bought clearance. So I have kind of, guys, I need to do another stash video, because my stash is no longer what I would consider minimal. Probably for some people they're like, that's nothing. But I'm not one to hoard yarns. So for me, it's getting a little much. So I need to make some socks. So these two, which also go really well together if I wanted to do a contrast. And I should have mentioned, this was where's the other sock? 100 gram skein, or 250 gram skeins. So I can get socks for me and my daughter out of 100 grams if I do a contrast heel and toe. Not even cuff, heel and toe only. So yeah, I can definitely get pairs for me, plus some out of these. And then she also had one of Mexicali stripes. Mexicala stripes. Not sure about that name, but you don't need to see the name. But this is a really fun one that definitely my daughter would like. It's got some pinks and purples and blues in it. Some yellows, kind of a rainbow vibe. So she sent me all of these, which was a huge, pleasant surprise. So I went to the P.O. box to get those today and ship out the prize for the giveaway winner. And then opened it up and there was a nice little card in it. So sweet. And then also she said, here, let me just read it in the card. I'm not going to read you the whole thing. But she said, I've been practicing sewing lately and she wants to make some fun project bags and she's cheap. I get that. Half the reason I make crochet and knit stuff is because I want stuff and I don't want to buy it. And then this is the first one that she made with some scrap fabric, and foxes aren't really her thing, but she thought that I would get some use out of it, which, oh my goodness, absolutely I will, because look at this darling bag. And I am not, let me show you the bag and then I'll tell you my stories. She had this fabric and like, this is what I'm talking about. Like she thought of me. She saw this and was like, oh, Bella will like this. I love that. Look, it's got a box bottom, drawstring top, perfect for socks, but it's actually got a little divider in it, so it's like a 2-color color work type situation, or if I wanted to do like a 2-color heel-toe cuff kind of thing. It's got a little pouch attached inside with a like pro-sewn zipper. Looks beautiful, Emily. Lined and everything. So if this is like, I don't know what else you've sewn, Emily, but if this is the first bag you've made, I'm so impressed. And like the cord is like, it's just all beautiful and it works and it stands up and I love it. So I don't know if she has any intention of selling project bags. It sounds like she just wants to be making them just for herself, but I'm so impressed with this. And she was like, don't look too closely. It's not perfect. And you know what? That's what I love about handmade. Anything you look at that I'm made is not perfect either. I try really hard for patterns. It's not perfect. And I am not a sewist at all. I would love to like, in my mind, sewing all my own clothes. I watch like Andrea Mowry's episode and she's like, oh, this is the dress that I'm wearing that I made and these other 17 things. Like her whole wardrobe she made. And I love that, but also I hate sewing. I love the idea of having sewn. Like, oh, I sewed this. I hate sewing. It brings out a rage in me that nothing else does. I don't know if it's not even that I'm a perfectionist. It's partially that I'm impatient. I have control issues and I can't control the machine. Like, yarn is forgiving. You mess up yarn, you can pull out yarn and you still have yarn. Other than, like, maybe, like, mohair or something doesn't, like, frog back well. But yarn, you don't like it, doesn't fit good, you made it the wrong size, you just pull it back and you start again. And it's kind of a pain, but it's still yarn and you still have a usable thing. Sewing, you cut it, you get it tangled, you rip it, you get stuck, and then you don't have that thing anymore. Maybe you could make it smaller, but you can't make it bigger again. Yeah, and I am not a person who uses curse words. But if ever there was a thing that would bring out that sort of thing in me, it would be sewing. I don't like that about sewing. I want to like sewing, but I can't. And my mom, like, I did sewing classes as a kid. My mom has taught me how to do, like, basic stuff. Neither one of us are, like, a seamstress. But, like, I've sewn, like, you know, pajama pants, curtains. I've made baby blankets. Like, I can sew. But it just makes me so mad. So it's not something that I want to do as a hobby to relax and bring joy to my life. There's enough in my life that makes me aggravated. I don't need any hobbies that make me aggravated. You know? So I love that this is something that gives somebody else joy. Emily, good job. And I will absolutely use this so much because you've seen, I mean, I just got this last episode at Savers. I think it's like a makeup bag. But I'm going to switch over my socks into this because it kind of even matches with the green, sort of, kind of. It goes. So this is going to be my little Fiber and Fox bag, and I love that it has the pouch inside, and I'm just, oh my goodness. Somebody thought of me and was like, let me send you things to make you have joy. And I love that. Thank you so much, Emily. That was so, so sweet. And I probably will use up all these sock yarns this year. And the bag you're going to see often because it's the perfect sock bag. I guess I'm a project bag person now. I own like 3. So yeah, that's episode, oh, nope, giveaway winner, hold on. Almost forgot. I just, with the magic of editing again, will announce another giveaway winner. Da-da-da-da-da! So if you had entered on the Marji's Yarncrafts Shop Hop vlog, I'm giving away this Colorscape cowl with Koigu yarns, pattern designed by Marji herself, the shop owner. It's beautiful, beautiful skeins of Koigu, which is like a really luxury, beautiful 2-ply yarn, in like this adorable little wreath, which I think is really cute. It's on like a big old zip tie, but you could definitely make something else out of it, but it includes the pattern on the back here for the Colorscape cowl, and fairly basic, so you're not doing anything crazy, crazy complicated. If you're a newer knitter, I think this is probably doable. Yes. Yes, it is. It's like a broken rib kind of thing. Definitely doable. And the winner didn't claim it last time, so you there. You're the winner this time. I need you to get in contact with me either at fiber.and.fox on Instagram, or you can email me at bella@fiberandfox.com, both of which are linked down below. And please let me know that you are the winner, that you saw this, and that you want me to send you this yarn, because I would very much like to, because it's beautiful. Thank you to Marji for gifting it for the giveaway when we visited the shop. And yeah, let me know your shipping information and that you won, and I'll get it out to you. And as long as you're in the US, I will cover shipping. So that is episode 36. We didn't quite make it under a half hour, though by the time I cut parts out, maybe we did. Really close. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in episode 37, hopefully with some more updates on the cardigan tester call and whatnot, and more socks. Because that's where we're at. Maybe I'll finish another top. I don't know. See you guys soon. Thanks.